I wanted to hit upon what I noticed about Paris Carter's play. It seemed like in the past he's got a lot of his offensive work has come off the board, but this past Saturday night might have been a record for feeds into him. Bounce passes, lob passes. Players were seeing him on the post. They were feeding him on the post. Now, that's a little different way for him to start his offensive play than before. Now, both ways are okay, but do you think one or the other is better for your team?
Well, I think it's critical that we find Paris early in the offense. I think it's also critical that we find Musa early in the offense. But because Paris is a little more polished offensively, it's he's apt to make a move. I go back to some of your commentary on one of the games as Paris got the ball, and you were saying as he received the ball, he was making a move to the basket, which is far different from what Musa does. Musa has to get himself, gather himself, kind of feel what the defense is doing, whereas Paris is, really trying to make things happen. Mm-hmm. And so it was good to see players trying to find him early in the offense and him not having to just get most of his offense from offensive rebounds and putbacks.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. We're visiting here with Coach Cedric Brown from the Lakeland Lakers men's basketball team. Let's analyze basketball the Lakers way. Collapsing is a team defensive strategy. It's usually executed when a teammate needs help, and especially when an opponent has invaded the lane on the dribble or as a result of pass reception. Sometimes an opponent is left open in the process, but the priority is to prevent the easy basket from close range. Notice the Lincoln Trail dribbler number 4, DeLon Butler, on the dribble, taking his defender, number 1, Laker Leighton Sieber, into a screen set by Butler's teammate, number 34, Kenny Edwards. Number 4, Laker Musa Gay, leaves room for Sieber to slide through the screen, but the screen is effective. Sieber is cut off. Gay helps by stepping out and up to guard the free dribbler, but must leave his man, Edwards, to do so. Edwards takes advantage of the defensive switch and rolls to the basket. Sieber now has no choice but to attempt to guard the larger Edwards. Lincoln Trail has created a mismatch. Butler uses his dribble to wait until Edwards can get free, which he does once the smaller Sieber tries to front him. Butler lobs to Edwards. A well-executed pick-and-roll is about to be ruined by the Lakers, however, who execute a collapsing defense. Laker number 2, Daniel Arma, reads the mismatch and collapses on Edwards just as he is receiving the lob. Arma's defense allows all 4 of the remaining Lakers to collapse. By the time Edwards can shoot, he is double-teamed. His shot is forced, and he misses. The Lakers get away with the risk because none of the Lincoln Trail players move to an open area once Edwards has the ball. With no one to pass to, he is hopelessly trapped by the collapsing Lakers. In this instance, a collapsing defense worked because of the quick reactions of the Lakers' defense. That was a collapsing defense the Lakers way. I'm Chet Novak, the host of Lakers Live, and this is Lakers Nation.
What do you study here at Lakeland College?
I study radio and TV broadcasting here at Lakeland College. That is my major.
Can you tell me where you come from?
Well, I come from the northern part of the state, just south of Chicago, just a little bit south of the city line, out in Chicago Heights, Linwood, Lansing, Park Forest area.
What brought you here at Lakeland College?
Well, I'd had a lot of experience in audio recording and video recording, but never any formal education on it. So I wanted to fill in the gaps, learn anything about it that I didn't know, and there's plenty. And this way I can officially earn myself a degree.
How do you like the Mattoon area?
Well, it's different, and about the only way I can explain it when I moved down here some 10 years ago or so was that even at that time, the whole social environment seemed about 10 years behind the social environment that occurs near the larger city of Chicago and its suburbs. Not a bad reflection. I kind of like the environment as it is down here. It's a little more laid back and slow, and I enjoy that.
Can you tell me about the story behind Lakers Live?
Lakers Live was kind of an evolving story, which started, I'd say about 3 months before we actually started producing the show, where I wanted to do a little more TV or video production. Here at Lakeland College, there's a lot of radio, but I wasn't getting quite enough TV production in, so I wanted to do something else, something extra. So I started asking the instructors and wanted to put together a sports talk show that what we would do, we'd set up a set for, but that kind of evolved into a sports talk show, which, as you know, also evolved into a video version that we also have that plays on cable TV.
Can you tell me more about your interest in sports?
As far as sports, I grew up with sports, played sports from a young age, just loved it from the first time. My first sport was baseball. That's still my favorite sport. So I've played for many years. I've officiated many sports, probably the farthest in basketball as far as officiating, but then I've also coached for a number of years in baseball and basketball as well. Now this is another field that's related to sports, and I find it very enjoying also.
What level did you officiate or coach?
For officiating, I got up to the point officially certified as an IHSA official, and that being the Illinois High School State Association, and that was for basketball. And then in baseball, played that in high school, played football in high school, played basketball in high school, but played none of those sports in college.
Can you tell me about the process of preparing your interviews for Lakers Live?
Yeah, that starts about a week. It's a weekly show, and the preparation starts the minute one show's done. Even while we're editing that show down for TV, I'm already trying to secure the next guest for the next week, and then finding out everything I can about that guest. If I've not had the guest on before, then a lot of background and more in-depth type of interview questions I want to develop, because I want the audience to know more about that person. And then as we go along, I try to develop questions that will bring to light more recent events for that particular guest. So a lot of it goes into just thinking about what kind of questions may bring in-depth answers that the viewers would be interested in finding out about.
How long the show is going to be from now?
Well, Lakers Live will go on throughout the spring of 2010, and when I say that, of course it correlates to the spring semester of college. And from there, unless there's someone to take it over, it probably will stop, but hopefully some other students will find it interesting and will take over my position, possibly the position of you, David Galan, in editing and doing the technical aspects. Because I think it's a good opportunity for any student to be involved in this type of a show and this type of production. From there, if I'm not going to do the show here anymore, mainly because I'll be moving on, I would like to pursue the same thing with sportscasting, of course, but same kind of pursuits possibly at Eastern. I'm not sure exactly what they have or how they go about things, but I think I have something to offer there.